Welcome to another episode of Little Free Library Hunting, aka me not finding anything but unhauling a bunch of books into little free libraries. I'm so scared of people seeing me. We're already not off to a great start. I drove out here, found a spot to park, and then I realized I didn't bring my battery and my camera was gonna die, so I had to go back home. And now here I am, but I had a very difficult time finding a spot. I am parked in front of a bunch of people's houses and I'm feeling very self-conscious. So we're gonna get this first part over with very quickly. If you don't know what little free libraries are, they kind of look like big bird houses that people put in front of their yards, but they're obviously not for birds. They are to put books into, and the idea is just they're a free library for anybody. You can give a book, take a book. That's the deal. I know they don't have these everywhere, but they do have a ton of them around me, so I am very lucky. I personally have never really found anything I was interested in there, so I have always been dropping off. I have never picked up a book from one, but you never know, maybe that will change today. But really, I was just going through my shelves and I found a bunch of stuff that I wanted to unhaul. Some of these are books I already read or ones I decided I'm just probably never going to read. And I actually have quite a lot to go through. Let's just go through them really quick. First, we've got Divergent, which I reread last year. I did that for a video, and I enjoyed my reread, but I'm not going to continue it, and I didn't enjoy it enough to keep a copy of just book one on my shelves. The Remnant Chronicles trilogy by Mary E. Pearson. The first book is The Kiss of Deception, which I read for my scavenger hunt video, and I actually hated this very, very much. And unfortunately, I had the second and third books already, but I have no desire to read them, so I would love to get rid of them, and I feel like somebody who is younger would probably enjoy this a lot more than I did, so hopefully somebody likes it. The Help, which I read before I really became a reader. Actually, funny story, this took me like 5 years to finish, but when I did finally finish it, I remember that I really enjoyed this, but I don't remember a ton about it. It's a movie cover. I don't really like it. It's this bright yellow color, so it's not really a book that brings me joy having it on my shelves, and I feel like it's still a very popular book that people want to read, so maybe somebody will find it and be excited. The Hobbit. I was unfortunately very disappointed with this. I just didn't enjoy this book at all. I had very high hopes, but I was just bored, so it was a no for me. A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham. I have not read this yet, but I've just heard so many negative reviews that I just don't think I'll ever get to it. I was holding on to that one for a while to see if I had the willpower to just make my own opinion, but I'm just not interested anymore. Then we have Payback's a Witch by Lana Harper. I actually really enjoyed this. I thought it was a cute, witchy read, but it's not something that I ever think about. It's not a series that I think I'm going to complete. If it had more of a cutesy kind of cover that matches what I feel like the inside is, then I would probably keep it. So hopefully somebody is in the witchy mood and picks this up. The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. I read this and enjoyed it, but I liked the guest list by her better, and I feel like all of her books are basically the same formula, just like copied and pasted with different character names. So I am keeping my copy of the guest list, but this one, first off, is a mass market paperback, which I hate those. And I gave it to my mom and she just totally beat this thing up, so it's just an eyesore. It sticks out because it's so short and it's ugly. Next, I've got The Wife Between Us. This is another book that my mother has destroyed, but she actually gave me this one. I haven't read this yet, and I had pretty high hopes because I've heard really good things about it. The thing about this is, there are a few books that I have found out have very, very similar plots, and I read one of them, really enjoyed it, and then I immediately opened up the second one, and within 5 pages, I was like, is this the same book? What's happening? And after talking to people, they all do have the exact same plot, and I found out that this one also has the same plot. For some reason, I don't want to say what those books are because, I don't know, maybe you vaguely know the plot of one of them, but you just want to go into them blind. Like, I don't know. I feel like I could be spoiling things. The point is, I read the one I read first, and I don't plan on reading any of the other ones that have the same plot. So this one has got to go. Tokyo Ever After and Tokyo Dreaming by Emiko Jean. I haven't read these yet, and I've had them on my shelves for probably like 2 years now. It's a young adult about some sort of princess. I bought these back when, if I saw a book that I had just heard of at all, I was going to buy it. For the past probably year, I haven't thought about them at all, and I love young adult fantasy and mystery thriller, but I don't think that young adult general fiction or romance is for me anymore. So these might be fantastic books, but I just know I'm not going to read them. I Know Who You Are by Alice Feeney. I actually have been on the fence about this one for a really long time, pretty much just because it has awful reviews on Goodreads. I think it was my lowest rated book out of all the books on my physical TBR, and my friend read it a couple days ago and called me just to tell me how disturbing and awful this was, and she just told me the entire plot so I didn't have to read it. And it does sound very interesting and disturbing. Alice Feeney has been very hit or miss for me. I've read 2 that I loved and then 1 that I hated. The Truth About Melody Brown by Lisa Jewell. I did read this and I thought it was okay. I kind of screwed myself over because I thought it was a mystery thriller and it's not. It's just a general fiction. So maybe if I didn't do that, I would have loved it. I don't know. But I was very meh about it and I don't really like the cover. Then we have The Project by Courtney Summers. This one I actually hadn't heard anybody talk about, but I just thought it sounded interesting. I think it's about a cult, but it also has horrible reviews on Goodreads, and one day I did try to read it, but I just could not get into it. So it's time that I finally let go of her. And last is Two Kinds of Truth by Michael Connolly. I did actually read this probably 3 years ago before I really got into reading, and I remember I enjoyed it, but it's definitely not the type of book that I would really pick up today. And I know he is a very popular author, so I'm sure this is one that will actually get snagged up. As opposed to some of these that I think might be better books, this is definitely, I feel like, the kind of books that I see in these little free libraries and the kinds of books that someone's gonna pick up. That's all the books. I feel like that was a lot. Let me count these. 16. That's great. Now I feel like I get to make lots of stops and drop off just a few at each one, and hopefully I'll find something good.
Hello, Ramona. I can't shake the simplest feeling beyond the ghost. We stand on the opposite shore.
Has, I feel like some mystery thrillers. Do A Flicker in the Dark, The Hunting Party, and the Michael Connolly book.
I look for the things I don't know.
Okay. I don't know what this is, but it's kind of a cute cover. Okay. Bye-bye.
For all in
This one's always a little sketch. She is packed though. That's pretty. My roommate has looked at this a million times. Looks like somebody wrote down lunch on here inside of this really pretty book.
all in this, I stand alone. Show me where the ending goes. Honest, honestly don't. I should be.
I really like the font on this one. Another Michael Connolly. Not a whole lot. Also not a whole lot of room. I'll just put this one in there. So far things are going as expected. I only have the Alice Feeney book and the Remnant Chronicles left, so just 4 more to drop off. And so far I have not found anything that I wanted to pick up. I really liked that pink blue cover 2 little libraries ago. I don't even remember what the name of the book was. But my goal really is not to just find a book that I'm not really that interested in. I only want to pick up a book if it's something that I genuinely already wanted. And the chances of that I knew were pretty slim, so I'm not that disappointed. But I do have to go to the bathroom really bad, so I need to stop drinking water, and I need to hurry it up and drop these off. I'm going to a new one that I've never been to before. Hopefully there is space for all 4 of them.
Just to know.
Oh, she really is empty.
We're all in this.
Wow, the difference in me between now and when I first started filming, crazy. I barely even walked and I am so sweaty. Anyways, I do feel like that was kind of disappointing to end on a very empty one, but at the same time, fun to give it some books when it didn't have any in it, really. I feel like I definitely should have perused and actually picked up and read a lot more of the books. But like I said, I really was not trying to increase my physical TBR. That was really the exact opposite of my plan today. I think today went well. I got rid of 16 books that hopefully other people are going to pick up and really enjoy, especially the ones that I did read and I liked. I really hope that someone enjoys them. I need to go home and immediately take a shower, so I'm going to say goodbye and go do that. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you are having a fantastic day or night wherever you are. If you want me to continue this series, then let me know. I certainly have fun doing it, and I feel like every few months or so, it's good for me to do an unhaul. Okay, that's really all I got. So thank you, love you, see you, bye!